Travis Wayne Goodsell, Helaman chapter 6, verse 23. And thus they, secret combinations, might murder and plunder and steal and commit whoredoms and all manner of wickedness, contrary to the laws of their country and also the laws of their God. Secret combinations are criminal sleeper cells that live among society of a specific government and a specific religion, but they commit their crimes in the dark and secret that go contrary to their professed country and to their professed religion. Bill Maher's episode last night warned America of the sleeper cells in America who think that it is justified to go against the laws of the United States of America and against religion, even though he's an atheist. And he focused on those who think that they are justified in violating the laws of the United States to support Islamic terrorism. That there's a cry going out now for the spread of Islam globally. And you've got these protesters who think that they are going to stand up and defend Islam, that they want to be Islamic, that they want to be under the rule of Islamic terrorism and religion, and they know nothing of it. They're too young to remember, not without my daughter. Let's see if I will not be cyber terrorized with a freezing of the camera. If we can find that movie, which was based on a true story. Without my daughter. 1991, Sally Field. PG-13. Oh, that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom ruined movie ratings for everybody. Kalima Sottide. Malaram Sugaram. Malaram Sugaram. I'm right here. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so, nobody understands what they're in for if they are going to embrace Islam. During the Vietnam War, there was a draft, and many Americans were not happy with that and decided that they were going to join Islam if they didn't flee up into Canada. Because as Islamic, they were able to fool the stupid Western American government into thinking that Islam is a religion of peace and not war. And so you got Cassius Clay becoming Muhammad Ali. and stories such as that, all to avoid going to war that, wasn't justified, and proved to be such in the end. And of course, our government never apologized. They never made restitution. They never admitted that they did anything wrong. They most likely had somebody come up and say, mission accomplished. As many of our soldiers were irreparably harmed because of that, my uncle being one of them. But after World War II, the United Nations was formed, and America helped Israel get established back in Jerusalem. Anybody who knows history and is not a denialist knows that the Jews were there first. That is their land. That's why I put in the clip by Hinckley, in which he threw out the three religions of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, all in the same sentence. It is not the land of Palestine. For Hinckley to make that kind of an error is unforgivable as a leader of a religion, let alone the wrong religion. We're getting to it, Mormons. Hold your offense for then. It just means you're guilty when you're offended, and you prove it to me time and time again. And so you think you're clever, hiding behind your computer. Oh, ooh, yeah, he almost got me there. Well, he won't know that it was me that put the thumbs down. He'll never know. I'll be offended in secret, and then cyber terrorize him. Oh, the Mormon YouTube employee down in Utah County got him first. Church is true, Travis. Yeah, because you're committing crimes. You don't believe the Book of Mormon. You don't believe the passage I just read to you. You think you're true, and you don't even care to know what the Book of Mormon says. You create your own personal Book of Mormon. You create your own personal Jesus and what your Jesus allows you to do and not do, and allows or not allows other people to do. You are the judge, the Danite. Until a religious leader comes around and puts you in your place. But then you think he's wrong, and then you go out and you consider your kids are zombie apocalypse, and so you murder them, chop up their body into pieces, put your hair on the tape over their mouths, and then you put them in bags and you dump them in the backyard, and you think you're true. Ooh, is it too soon? Islam realized they were no strength to conquer and remove Israel, having the whole world supporting Israel, as America was constantly supplying Israel with weapons to defend themselves against Islam, who were upset that Israel was put back into Israel. And so in the 60s, Islam tried a new tactic in which they went to all of the world claiming to be victims of their religion, that their religion were sexually and physically abusing them, and they needed asylum. And so the world said, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Islam is bad, it's not Christian. Come to our land. And America played a big role in that. There was an act signed by Congress to allow for refugees, specifically for the Islamic refugees to come to America. Utah, after Hinckley gave his little talk to church leaders, saying that according to the statistics, it won't be too many years until those south of the border will outnumber Utahns in Utah. And so Utah started passing a law to allow for immigrants and refugees to come into Utah. And as we are entering into pre-Trump era, the church was trying to get laws passed. Into the Trump era, Herbert in 2020 tried to get Trump to allow for refugees from Islam to come into Utah. And during the Biden administration, there was no issue with it. And so Utah has a whole bunch of Islamic centers that are built right by key infrastructure and critical utilities all around the valley. And this is what they did all around the world. And they followed the same pattern that they did to the Jews, that when something was destroyed, they offered to build a mosque there on the ruins. That's their pattern of practice. They even tried to do it for the trade towers. Oh, we have an idea. We'll put a mosque on the trade towers ruins. You don't see the problem with that, do you? It was okay to put a mosque on the Jerusalem temple ruins, but not 9/11 ruins. Oh my God. They're peaceful. Then why do they have a sword in the flag? Well, I know of the Christian interpretation of the Jewish scriptures about turning your swords into plowshares. I don't see that as a plowshare. That's a sword. It's very clearly a sword on the flag. Flags have symbolic meaning. And so, as Utah, and Salt Lake City specifically, had created new flags for the new law banning gay pride flags, they created their own gay pride flags. Ours are better. LGBTQIAPO plus are wrong. Ours are now better. The symbolism is still the same. But different. Ours are legal, even though it's illegal still, because it talks about the different kinds of sex to our children in symbolic form. Kids will never ask what they mean. Never. They'll never know the truth. God. Nevertheless. And so they spread all around the world, rose up in number, rose up in rank in our societies. The PTA president. Neighborhood watch. Wow, that's a mighty big sword you have there, neighbor. The better to keep you safe. And then take over positions of authority, not just in business, but also in government. And now, in retrospect, we see what they were planning and plotting. October 3rd, or 7th, oh my God. October 7th, 2023. On that day, all Islam, all around the world, cheered. They weren't horrified like Saddam Hussein on 9/11, who immediately called Bush and said, I had nothing to do with this. Bush said, I'm the decider. I will decide who's responsible. And went after him. And my cousin was one of the billion lawyers of JAG that took him down and hung him immediately. Hung, not hanged, hung. Screw the Brits. They don't know anything about the English language. And then, oh, he wasn't responsible? Oh, my bad? So we went into Pakistan. Oh, nope, not here. Afghanistan. Oh, hey, Russia, we'll take over from now. We'll take over the poppy production. After all, my daddy is Poppy Bush. And then we found out eventually that it was Islamists from Saudi Arabia. But October 7th, as protests demanded world government leaders stop Israel from defending themselves. They didn't want Israel to retaliate. Israel warned the people who claimed they're not a part of Hamas. Okay, if you're not a part of Hamas, you need to leave. We're coming in to get Hamas, to get our prisoners back. And they didn't leave. Israel gave them 2 months to leave. They chose not to leave. They stayed. They harbored Hamas. They held prisoner the hostages because they didn't leave. They harbored Hamas. Israel would go on to expose the tunnel network all throughout Gaza, connecting it to the UN. The UN was also responsible for funding of Hamas, supporting Hamas, and directly planning and plotting October 7th of Hamas. Yeah, you don't hear any of the progressives talk about that. The whole news around the world all of a sudden forgot how to do the news. They'd been covering the Russian attack on Ukraine, covering the facts, reporting what actually happened. We were constantly being told what was going on day after day. We were shown the atrocities of the Russian soldiers to the Ukrainian people, the mass graves, the torturing, the sexual, violent abuse. And the world leaders were afraid of Putin because of the Sisters of Fatima prophecy. Biden being a Catholic. And so Islam took advantage of the stupid Westerners who know nothing of Islam, who know nothing of their plot. And the whole world fell for it, turning on Israel, calling Israel the bad guys. How warped and twisted is that? Chanting from the river to the sea, demanding a Holocaust. See, Islam hasn't forgotten history. They purposely are repeating it. It's the stupid Westerners who forgot their history. So, thanks to Chinese TikTok, you get false information being passed to twerking videos. Islam is cool, join today. You get fashionable clothing. It's cultural, not a symbol of religious sexual abuse whatsoever. Not like those Mormons and their secret underwear. How did you fall for it, Mormons? Seriously. I was like, alright, fine, I get underwear. And then the temple worker wedgied me. Alright, that's it. What are you doing putting your hand down my underwear? What do you mean I gotta tuck it in? What are you gonna do, stop me? Come to my home and make sure I tuck it in every day? Bleep you. But the Anubis character for my temple initiatory told me, did he tell you you had to tuck it in? Yeah. You don't have to. Yeah, I won't. They're just those Mormons who still wanted the one pieces. Even my dad, he wore the one pieces. I think he finally caved when he moved to Utah, and they really didn't have one pieces for sale. They still did when I worked at the Beehive Clothing. But there was a time where the church offered sewing kits for Mormons to sew their own marks on, but they immediately stopped that. Then they got the slave sweatshop of little kids in the Philippines. Well, that's just their economy. There's nothing we can do about it. You've got trillions of dollars. You can do something about it. You can buy the Philippines. and fix all their problems. Nope. We'd rather make business deals with the criminal leaders of the Philippines. Yeah, Bill Maher made it very clear to the little rising generation of dumbasses who enjoy their Western culture, freedoms, and privileges of America for now, as they're chanting that they want to be Islam. And yes, Bill Maher is very much correct. You have no clue of the abusive religious nature of Islam. And for Mormons to not catch this when the church embraced Islam to fund the future terrorism that we now have seen, and to come out with a pamphlet saying Mormons are Muslims. And still to this day, when October 7th hit, I was deeply upset with Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks and put my displeasure in a comment that they have betrayed journalistic integrity to side with terrorists, to show that they're anti-Jewish. And I would get people attacking me, saying that I didn't understand the difference between the religion, the culture, and the military. So whether or not my comment was deleted by Anna, I never heard back from them. But that's how it is. Islam is the religion. And yeah, there are different views how to interpret the Quran. And watching Bones, they had an Islamist be a part of the team as an intern, and he was used to spout off how wonderful and great Islam is. As it's the script writer doing it, not an actual Islamist on the show. Ad-libbing his script. I'll say my own lines, thank you. And so I'm just going, oh my God, you did not write that for the script, did you? Oh my God, you did. Islam is about peace and harmony and kumbaya. No, it's not. Terrorism. And they used 9/11 and the backdrop to have us all feel guilty for him. Oh, wow, yeah, we're sorry, okay. Yeah, those were individual persons going rogue. We're sorry. We'll come and join your religion now. Please forgive us. We have no right to judge. Because it says in Matthew 7, chapter or verse 1, thou shalt not judge. I don't know what the rest of the chapter says. Oh, dear God. Nightmare. Oh, yay. A cool breeze blowing in. And so, yeah, America will not want Islamic America. The freedoms that we currently enjoy, even though they're being strained, 30 dolls, You'll be lucky if you can get 5. They're not dolls, they're action figures. They don't count as dolls. Trump was only speaking about dolls, not action figures. Action figures, we can get 30. Because they're action figures. That would be hilarious to see the marketing campaigns of all the different doll companies. They're not dolls, they're action figures. Get your 30 today. Do it! Do it! Do it! Because that's how what Trump is doing. He's wanting to send people to Venezuela and El Salvador and then Libya. And the judges keep saying, no, you can't send them anywhere. Well, you didn't specify. But hopefully Bill Maher scared his audience with Islam. That women have no rights in Islam. That as sleeper cells in America, it seems like they do. But it's used to an end. You're not listening to the news about how Iran murders teen girls because they don't wear the hijab. You don't understand that giving back to Afghanistan, to the Taliban, that the women no longer get educated. You don't listen to those news stories. You don't hear of the abuse of Islam. You just think it's an isolated incident, that it doesn't represent all Islam. You don't get it. It does. Each Islamic location, because they don't really have nations, you have Islam, which is the religion, and then the Shiite and Sunni and variations. But it's still from the Quran. Then you have Muslim, which is culture. Regardless of where they are in the world, they are Muslim because of the culture. But the religion is still Islam. And then, wherever they are located, they have a military to defend and enforce the Quran. Enforcing the Quran with the sword. Does that sound familiar, Mormons? Should I say javelin instead? And so, even though it's Hamas, that's just the military of Gaza. Then you have Hezbollah for Lebanon, the Taliban in Afghanistan, and the Houthi in Yemen, etc. Those are the military. They're all Islam. They're all Muslim. To ignore this fact allows the enemy to get the advantage over you. As they laugh and say, you stupid Westerners. If America were to turn Islam, women would have no rights, beyond having no rights, and sperm lives matter now. That's the Christian sleeper cells in America that have risen up. For trad wives, unite. As long as I'm still allowed to obtain fashion try-on hauls. You leave me alone. Fine. What I find fascinating and hilarious is that there is no trad wife swimwear. Should I look up trad wife underwear? I'm willing to bet I won't find it. Do they wear underwear? We're never supposed to know. Christian women have to cover up and hide. Right, Mormon women? Dear God. Don't make me, it's pissing me off that I have to keep bringing over files onto the computer. I even had to pull out of the box for this video. So now that we've passed 30 minutes, I warned you about Trump. And again, it's the same situation that Islam pulled. Trump is doing it too. Everybody's trying to do their thing on America. Stephen Miller. I warned you the other day to pay attention to the words of Stephen Miller. He writes for Trump. He's a professed neo-Nazi. He wants America to return to the World War II Nazi German days in America. Pay attention. And apparently nobody knows their World War II history of what led to it, what was going on during it, and why America finally stepped in to stop it. And then gave asylum to all of the medical doctors who became psychologists in America to perform human torture experiments on Americans rather than Jews, unless the American happened to be a Jew. Trying to work with the CIA to find ways to brainwash the masses. And so, yeah, the art of war. Divide and conquer. What two political parties dominate our government? Oh, the deep state Dems and MAGA, huh? Yeah, that's what's called a false dichotomy. If you actually read your Constitution, you would learn that Thomas Jefferson was wrong to destroy America by creating the first political party. No political parties are allowed in the Constitution. We are to be a constitutional republic, which means no political parties. And yet, Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, destroyed America by planting the seed of tares to rise up in the latter days to choke the wheat and destroy the Constitution. And wouldn't you know it, the name of his political party was the Democrat Republicans or the Republican Democrats, whatever it was. Should we look again for that real quick? Since so far I've not been cyber terrorized and frozen, should I knock on wood? Come on, Google. What the hell? Thomas Jefferson's party. Democratic Republican Party. Bastard. And so, Stephen Miller, I warned you. You didn't want to believe. You're enjoying your latte, complaining about why you can't afford breakfast anymore because of the eggs of great price. And only being allowed 5 action figures. But you're missing the big picture, because Trump is able to distract you and confuse you. As Overtime discussed this of Bill Maher's, in which Democrats and MAGA are all about issues, and the one congressman who is MAGA condemned Democrats for their pursuit of DEI, LGBTQIAPO plus issues. And MAGA dominates because they are talking about the political issues that concern American lives. No, both wrong. False dichotomy. And so the best way to help you understand Trump's distraction and how effective it is from his art of the deal is you have a tree. It starts with a seed. The seed is corrupt. And yet, people allow it to grow. Trump has never been held accountable for any of his crimes through all these generations. And yet, the tree grows, and people let it grow, and then Trump throws out a whole bunch of branches. And they're all shocking, and everybody, this isn't the normal. And so people are prone to have issues. And so when a branch of Trump's targets their issue in life, only $5? No, I'm not happy. I demand 30 action figures. Then that's their focus. That's their protest. That's their lawsuit. But all the other branches of Trump, you don't care about. It doesn't affect your life directly, yet. And so this is why Trump does this tactic, is because he knows that he will be able to get stuff through, because when you have multiple issues and you think you're going to try to fight them all, you can't. It's overwhelming you. And so you are forced to choose which issue is most important to you. $5 or plastic straws. Or the stream of the water. Obviously, I'm joking, but those are things that he's doing, and those obviously got through. But we're talking more of Trump's anti-Islam, as apparently Islam forgot that Trump did the Muslim travel ban in his first administration. Did you think he wasn't going to do it again? But this is where Stephen Miller comes in. Stephen Miller said, we are looking at suspending habeas corpus. concerning the uprising of Islam at Columbia again. About all of the activist judges who are saying no to Trump. You can't send them to Venezuela. You can't send them to Ecuador. You can't send them to Panama. You can't send them to El Salvador. You can't send them to Libya. Ooh, flickering of the lights. We can have a power failure and this 45-minute video ruined. I've been wondering why Russia hasn't been running their tests as of late since Ukraine. They let China take over now. It's China's turn this time for the second coming of Mormon Jesus. Right, Oaks? And so, yes, all the people on Trump's list is what Stephen Miller talks about. As America apparently is playing dumb, especially Governor Cox and Mormons in Utah, feeding right into the trap. Everybody in America only wants criminals gone. And their definition of criminal is not the same as Trump's. Being of dark skin is a crime for Trump. Being from another country that's poor, coming to America to get immigration status and having American babies naturalized is a crime in Trump's eyes. Being a refugee is a crime in Trump's eyes. You're not getting it. Being black is a crime in Trump's eyes. Being a part of DACA is a crime in Trump's eyes. Being a woman is a crime in Trump's eyes. You should allow him to grab you by the bleep bleep, kitty cat. That's all you're good for in Trump's eyes. You're not getting it. LGBTQIAPO+. Trump did away with you. Male and female, that's it now. You're now illegal. You're not getting it. The states are not getting it. Trump is destroying the federal government, stopping the funding, firing the agents, handing over leadership to the states, just like Great Britain, making America Great Britain again. King George stayed in Britain. But the colonies were separated by states, but they were subject to Great Britain. And that's what Trump is doing. In destroying the federal government, handing over leadership to the governors of the states to run it however they want, as long as it's the MAGA rule under King Trump. This is what he's doing. And so, yes, he has to destroy the federal trading of the world partners, as America has to be run by the states. And so corporations need to be in every state if the state wants that corporation. And nobody is getting it. Nobody is understanding. Everybody wants the way it was with their 30 dolls. You're not seeing what they're setting up. They're setting up for the suspension of habeas corpus. to turn their whole long list into the enemy and declare martial law, declare the Insurrection Act, declare civil war, and do exactly what Lincoln did during the Civil War. Suspend habeas corpus. You don't believe me, but maybe you'll listen to Bill Maher. So, Mormons, your turn. Did I lose you already when I wasn't faith promoting? What religion are you? You say Christian. Is that what the Book of Mormon says we are? There's the one passage in the Book of Mormon with Captain Moroni. Is that what it is? Because you're revealing how stupid you are. Because Acts talks about it. 1 Peter. Those were written by Jews. Alma 46. 13 and 14. And 13, 15, 16, and 48, 10. The blessings of liberty to rest upon his brethren, so long as there should be a band of Christians remain to possess the land. For thus were all the true believers of Christ, who belonged to the church of God, called by those who did not belong to the church. And those who did belong to the church were faithful. Yea, all those who were true believers in Christ took upon them gladly the name of Christ, or Christians, as they were called, because of their belief in Christ who should come. And therefore at this time Moroni prayed that the cause of the Christians and the freedom of the land might be favored, that they might maintain that which was called by their enemies the cause of Christians. Why would you put Christians here? Book of Mormon says Jewish. That we're supposed to have the Jewish Christ. Why the hell would you think you're gonna put me in my place by saying it's supposed to be Christians? It's Jewish Christians, which in Hebrew is English phonetics for Messiah, because it's Messiah in biblical Hebrew. Give a damn about phonemes, because the original Paleo-Hebrew was a picture language. Visionary. You see the meaning. Our religion is supposed to be Jewish. And so for the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to tell you we're Christians with Jesus Christian Christ, they're lying to you. If you kept reading Matthew chapter 7, not stop at "you can't judge us," you'd learn that false prophets like to trick people with their words. And so you need to judge them by the consequences of the words that come out of their mouths. And so, yes, I've been doing the Hinckley videos for you. I was looking for another quote, didn't find it, found those other two gems. It was taking too long to find the one quote. So I said, let's do these videos. I do them for conference, every conference. I've got a whole collection of Nelson quotes. Mormons are unhappy. They didn't go to conference. I listened to conference. Mormons didn't. And Mormons are offended because that's what Nelson said, and they're not happy with me that Nelson said it, and they call it fake news. And so I did it frankly. I can do it with anybody because we're supposed to be Jewish, which means everything they say, everything they order, everything they do is wrong. All wrong, abominable, and corrupt. Joseph Smith, First Vision, verse 19. Christianity. And yet you say you're Christians? Are you plain dumb or are you dumb? See, I keep doing videos hoping that you're just dumb. Because if you're playing dumb, yeah, you'll never believe me. But verse 1, did you go to the Joseph Smith papers? What's that? Oh my God. The church put it out. Gail Miller funded it through the laundering of money. That's the only way they were going to do it. The church collected all of the original documents that they could obtain and published them on the website and in a book to make money off of it, so that the truth can be known by researching it. And nobody is. The church will only reference the forgeries that support that this church is true. They will not point out the errors of redactor Willard Richards, who put in the name Jesus Christ in verse 1 of the First Vision. Joseph Smith did not put Jesus Christ in the name of his church, which means section 115, sure enough, is a forged document that Nelson got up at the pulpit of conference and said is true. And now nicknames are offensive to Jesus. Jesus isn't real. Do you not get it now? These guys are false. This means the Church of Jesus Christ isn't true. You never bothered to run the test on the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, let alone the Bible, as Jewish. You don't know the truth. You got conned. You were deceived by false prophets. And it's a simple test. All you had to do was read. What the hell is an inverted pentagram doing on Brigham Young's temples? The Kirtland Temple didn't have an inverted pentagram. And yet, you make excuses to justify Lucifer's symbol? Lucifer's doctrine on the keystone of the Salt Lake Temple? That Lucifer's doctrine is cover up and hide. Wear the underwear, but cover that up too. It's the symbol of your covenant to cover up and hide. And to overthrow the government. And to sacrifice your life so that the church can get away with their crimes. And obey your husband, women. practice polygamy to 11-year-old girls now. You have no clue what this church's Zion will be, because every Mormon has their own image in their head of how their Zion is going to be. Boy, are you in for a rude awakening. There's even a Mormon channel that has the coming Zion in the title. And they all do faith-promoting videos about how Jesus is true and comes from outer space, and living prophets, female leader, who's not even the president, is leaking secrets of the temple changes to come. Really? Oh, she said more to come. This is just the beginning? Really? We all know what's coming for the temple. It happened in 2019. Why isn't this Mormon doing that channel, doing that video, ignoring the changes that were already made? He's not obeying them. He's not practicing polygamy. Nelson changed the law of chastity to polygamy again, restoring it. We all know polygamy is coming back for the millennium, and Nelson made the change. It's time, Mormons. Lock up your daughter. Lock up your wife. Lock the back door. Run for your life. Kind of need to get out of. I think I screwed up the lyrics, but TNT. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. There we go. You don't have a clue, because you don't give a damn about the truth of the scriptures. You don't understand that what you have as liberties in this church are all going to be gone, just like Bill Maher told you about Islam. You never even read Section 119 to understand what it means. Verily I say unto you, it shall come to pass that all those who gather unto the land of Zion shall be tithed of their surplus properties. You know, priestcraft violates the Book of Mormon, 2 Nephi chapter 26. No priestcraft. What the hell is it doing in here? Oh, it says it's by Joseph. You have no clue about a forged document, do you? And shall observe this law, or they shall not be found worthy to abide among you in Zion. You must pay tithing to the church. You must prostitute your wives. Plural. You must practice priestcraft. You are not worthy if you don't. You must be a criminal. You must support criminal activity, or you are unworthy. This goes against your God of the Book of Mormon and of Joseph Smith. Helaman chapter 6. Remember, it's all part of this whole thing. Trump says, I don't think I have to follow the Constitution. Really? Trump. Pay attention. These are secret combinations who are taking over America and the world. They have risen. And I say unto you, if my people observe not this law, tithing, to keep it holy, and by this law, tithing, sanctify the land of Zion unto me. Oh, money sanctifies things, huh? The temple is holy because it was paid for. Yeah, Trump only listens to those who bribe him. Did you bribe Trump? Say, only those who can bribe Trump in the multi-millions, if not billions, get Trump's attention to back off on certain laws. So if you want $30, you need to bribe Trump and say, Trump, I want $30. Here's $500 billion through your cryptocurrency. And Trump will say, thank you. You can have your $30 now. They'll be $1 billion each. Just like Russia. Russia. I wanted the latest Steven Seagal movie. He had fled to Russia. That's why I put out the call on YouTube. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you can get Steven Seagal's movie here in America for me. And they did. Amazon made it available. Several months later. Russia? Come on. I want it now. And so they did, and it was $50. Russia! They can't just do things to be nice. That my statutes and my judgments may be kept thereon. That's the other laws of Brigham Young that he altered, including section 132, polygamy. That it may be most holy. Behold, verily I say unto you, it shall not be a land of Zion unto you, if you cannot obey tithing and polygamy and his other criminal activities that he calls laws of his own personal Jesus, who is not the Jewish Christ. He violates the laws of the land. He violates the laws of Joseph Smith's God that Mormons believe that they were a part of. And Mormons are either plain dumb or are dumb to not make the connection that this is a violation. That section 115 is a violation. That section 116, 17, 18, 19, 24, 124. You do understand that I mean 124 when I'm doing 115, 16, 17. It's not 16. Let's see. The ones that say baptisms for the dead. No, 124, I do not see baptisms for the dead. So 128, baptisms for the dead. Forged document. And 32, 33. Now, this is the call out that I'll never be able to give because Trump failed. 135. Yeah, this is John Taylor. This is, oh dear God, this is shameful. John Taylor murdered Hiram. And here he is giving a eulogy. About 5 o'clock. Was it John Taylor? Was it? Was it? was it? You do know I have the watch, and I've been showing you the video, or the pictures and videos. They put it in our manuals. So yeah, you have no clue what the Church of Zion will be. You think that, you know, having other people who left the church getting punished is what you're expecting? Just like those in America belonging to MAGA who voted for Trump. That it's just, Trump is just going after the DEI Dems. Really? You're that dumb, are you? It's everyone. Your whole life will change. Church doesn't want the internet, doesn't want social media, because that's a gateway to porn. And so, yes, the church wants their version of Trump TV 24/7, Trump News 24/7. You know, you can have your entertainment, but it's got to be faith promoting, Mormon stuff. You know, like Left Behind, the Christian series about how the second coming of Jesus will be, which we're still waiting. Still hasn't happened. Where is Jesus, by the way? Where is he? Is he Trump? Is he King Cyrus manifestation through Trump? Where is he? See, Mormons don't believe in that. And so for Nelson to pull that stunt over your eyes, that was hilarious. You have no clue what's coming, Mormons. You have no clue. You have no clue that your missionary service is the MLM, multi-level marketing, that Alyssa Grenfeld talked about. But you have no clue that Vice already covered that, Alyssa. Years ago, it was covered by Vice. But yeah, it's all new to Alyssa's viewers. Oh, wow, the church is an MLM? Oh, yeah. I see it now. No, you don't. There's more to it, Alyssa. Come on. With great view counts comes great responsibility to tell the full truth and to do your research. Can't just get on a camera and look all pretty and get popular. This is why Americans are being so easily deceived, believing that Islam needs rights too. That Mormons think the church is just going to go after you, Travis. They're not coming after me because I'm faithful. No, they're coming after you. Do you have a wife? Do you love her? Are you a church leader? At least in the 70? Oh, you're going to have to say goodbye to her. This is how evil it's going to be for you. You are not going to be happy about it. And they'll tell you, do you have faith? Do you trust in the Lord? The Lord wants your wife to be given to me, the leader of the church. I'm holier than you. Are you going to doubt that? What are your temple recommend questions? I hear it from Mormons all the time. Mormons keep saying how unworthy they are and how worthy the leaders are. That the higher the rank, that's the level that the woman wants to marry. She doesn't want to marry only an elder. She wants a bishop material or a stake president material or a seventh a 70 material, or an apostle material. Sherry Dew, yeah, her scandal. Still single after all these years. Faithful Mormon, except she's not. See, those kinds of women will be forced into a harem. You don't get a relationship with your husband in a harem. He doesn't have time for you. He has time to breed you and to keep you bred, barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen with the other housewives. No try-on videos in this church. It's porn. You will not have a voice in church. You will not go on missions. You will not be educated because you're a breeder. You will not have a career and a job. You're a breeder in a harem, just like Islam. That's what's coming for Mormon Zion. Men, yeah, you don't get a wife. And this time, you don't even get a brothel. No lady red light for you. You have to be a slave to this church. And you need to be kept away from the leaders of the church's harems. And so you can't think about sex, you can't masturbate as an alternative option. No porn is going to be available for you. You're a slave doing manual labor for the rest of your life. And they'll quote that scripture from Genesis, that you were supposed to work by the sweat of your brow. See, the prophets, they're holy. They speak through God. They tell you what to think, how to feel, what to believe, and how to act. And if you don't like it, you're dead. If they don't just kick you out of Utah, like Section 119 says. But Brigham Young murdered people. He didn't let them just go. Didn't kick them out. You have no idea the horror that is coming if you allow this church to win. You have no clue how your liberties that you think you have now that are being strained will be gone. All the privileges of stores with all these different items to purchase. The church thinks they're all wicked and leading you away from the church and obeying them. They, like Islam, call this Western culture of the devil. To spend your life watching YouTube videos, TikTok videos, meta virtual reality, games. You're supposed to be listening to the talks of conference. You're supposed to be converting other people to pay the church and to cover up and hide with underwear. That's what Nelson did starting. Went to the youth. Give up your cell phones. Go and convert your friends, regardless of their parents. The Hitler Youth Battalion. Do you want to be a Hitler Youth Battalion? I can show you how. Because I don't just have their conference talks. I know my enemy. I know what they're plotting. I know what they're planning. I know the history. I know what's being repeated. It's here. See, if you don't get put into a harem, the Germans allowed the raping of the German girls because it was for the purpose of building the white master race. You have no clue the horrors that are coming, and there's no words that I can do that will convince you, because you refuse to study, you refuse to learn, you refuse to see the bigger picture of what's going on. You're focused on your branch that is being affected, and you're arguing that. You're quilting to Trump to stop. And you have no clue that you're setting Utah up to be destroyed by Trump for your rebellion against his laws that are a violation of the laws of the land and the laws of the church. Religious freedom, you already have it in the First Amendment, and yet the church keeps pushing religious freedom movement. Why? They already have religious freedom in the First Amendment. It's not in danger. It's never been in danger. Whenever anybody attacks this church, the FBI immediately steps in to investigate, because it's the First Amendment. So why is the church pushing for religious freedom? It's so that they can take away religious freedom from others, so that they can turn Utah into Zion and do what Section 119 says it's going to do. Do you believe it? In the coming days, Jesus is just late.